I guess everyone by now is quite aware about the seriousness of the situation. And being a small nation like Singapore, we are kind of vulnerable to all this climate change. So yes, happy to hear that all this commitments from the government, public sector, and also the industry. So Engineer Tan, you have shared with us the vision and the initiatives from the government to help with the climate change problem. So from the technology perspective, what are the good practices and also the initiatives that used and committed by the government?
Yeah, thanks, Faye. I will look into the what Singapore has done in different sector, and will elaborate on what technologies are able to help to reduce the carbon footprint, right? So if you see that there are sectors on power industry, manufacturing, transport sector, buildings, waste and water,
yes.
And then what household can do, right? So we are looking at different aspects and how people are able to contribute to reduce the carbon footprint. So looking at power generations, so we have convert some of our power plant to natural gas, fired by natural gas, and that has been reduced. And we probably maybe people would know that we have built a rock cavern to store the LNG, right? And that is one source of energy source. We are supporting our power industry. And the other one is the solar.
Solar power
has been doing quite a lot. We have a solar panel at the HDB roof. Also, you must heard that the solar panels are putting it as a floating solar panel at the reservoir, right? So because of Singapore are very small, so we're utilizing all our land area to see how we can promote renewable energy to generate power. Of course, we work with regional grid. If other people are generating power, they have extra, they can sell it to us. So we don't need to generate by ourselves. So the other way is what are some of the low carbon alternative. So we are trying to looking into that, and a lot of research has been done by the universities into this area, right? But at the same time, we are also looking at the energy efficiency, how to increase our energy efficiency, right? So we also introduce for some of the development projects, if they exceed certain amount of the energy consumption, they have to see how to make the energy more efficient in operating their plant. So that is one way.
So to achieve a balance.
So that is policy aspect. So policy combined with technology, then you have create a better effect. And if you look at the waste and the water, we are now building DTSS-2, the deep tunnel sewage system. But this deep tunnel sewage system, we are also combining with the waste to energy plant, right? So the waste of treating the water, we can be a source of the energy to the waste to energy plant. And when the waste to energy plant generate energy, it can supply back to treat the water, right? So at the moment,
ecosystem goes.
It's the whole ecosystem, right? And this is where we're looking at how the water, energy, waste nexus, they can all combine together. And then that is another breakthrough in terms of technology. It allows us to bring all this together. If you're looking at the industry aspect, probably you know that some of the industry, especially oil and gas or refinery, they have a lot of emissions.
Yes.
And we're looking at how these emissions, CO2 emissions, or to be used or to be stored and utilized for other products.
Not only be reduced, but also reutilized.
Yes, yes. Which means that, you know, some of the new concept is all this CO2, normally you bring it to the ground to store because CO2 is not going to be used. But now the technology allow this CO2 to be used. For example, one of the area to be used is convert that to methanol. And methanol is more for pharmaceutical as well as maybe some of the chemical industry, right? Yeah. Also for transport, I would say we are building up a lot of infrastructure for electric car, and although it's not enough to replace the existing car, but I think there is a target by 2030. All this electric car will be replaced quite a big portions, so that reduce the emissions. And we already introduced the hybrid bus. We're putting up more charging stations, right? In terms of buildings, right? So there is also a target to see the percentage or increase the percentage of green building in Singapore. And we are promoting not only the green building, but blue-green. Blue is the water. We need water feature.
Okay.
At the same time, we are using certain vertical green or roof green. Roof green, it reduces the heat transfer down to the unit itself, right? So there's quite a number of technology to see how to reduce the heat transmissions.
Wow, that's very enlightening. What are the good practices in maybe in the region and from other countries that we can learn from, or we are already working with them for those new technologies to help with our own reducing of carbon footprint or helping with the climate change? Any examples you can share with us?
I think Singapore is quite advanced. So, so we are sharing what we do here to other countries. But of course, we also bring technology from other countries, or we learn from other countries. For example, European countries, they are more advanced in terms of what their practices.
Okay.
So, for example, on the climate sea level rise, we are learning from Netherlands the polar system, and now to see how they can introduce it to Singapore.